For my project, I decided to build a new hockey rink/gym to give a space to hockey players to learn from the best with the best equipment. I did not change anything from my draft because I did not receive any feedback. For my project, basically this rink is going to be personalized for hockey players. The coaches will be past pro players, past pro trainers, things like that, to provide information so they can learn and grow to the next level. This will also provide them with information on nutrition, how they should be working out, things like that. And these coaches will all be there to help them through and train through the off season. When it comes to in-season stuff, you can have possibly trainers work with your teams, come on during practice, just give that information out to everybody in a more open setting like at practice. It would help just visualize some things. So being able to pull trainers that are ex-pro players to practice possibly will give them an opportunity to kind of showcase their skills and give the trainers an opportunity to correct them if there is any corrections that need to be made. For my project, I'm most proud of how everything turned out. The charts themselves I was struggling with a little bit, but after I looked over some notes and I redid the past assignments a little bit, I understand everything a lot more. Something that I really enjoyed doing was the process flow diagram, that it just basically in my head kind of gives me an idea of what the process is and what each step is for the process. So for like the foundation and framing, it gives me the 3 steps on what's going to be happening for that portion of it, and then it goes to interior and exterior, same. Just gives you a little bit more information so you know the timeline a little bit of what's going to come next in the step. Something else I really liked was this chart because it gave me an idea of who was in charge of everything and who, like, if any questions need to be asked while during like the build process of this gym/rink. This provides an opportunity for them to look back and see who they need to ask questions to and see who has the possibility to change things, just stuff like that. Something I struggled with a lot was the Gantt chart. I overcame this by just looking at the past assignments, and it gave me information on how to kind of organize it a little bit better. I like it because it gives you the start and end dates of the projects, the how many days, and it shows you which days of the week the project is actually going to be being done on. For the tasks, this title part, I like that because it gave you an information for each phase, what actually is happening, kind of like the process flow diagram, but this one's a little bit more detailed with start and end date and the days of the week. The most challenging thing that I think out of the whole thing was just putting everything together to create that portfolio of having the new project together, basically, and understand. Something that I learned while doing my portfolio was that there's a lot of detail into new build projects. I didn't really think about all the things that go into what happens when these projects need to be actually done and built. So that was nice because it kind of just reminded me what actually goes on in each project for future projects, basically for myself. I learned that in the field of project management, you need to make it so that everyone involved can understand what phase you're on, what you're doing, what the directions are, what the costs are, things like that. With such a big project and having a budget like that, it can create chaos. By having the portfolio, it kind of gives everything planned out so everybody knows what's next. If any questions need to be asked, they can look back in the stakeholder management plan and see if it answers it there. The portfolio just basically gives them a visual of the project itself without actually having a visual. Thank you.